Today, we will talk about Naamah, a character of great relevance in the Holy Scriptures, mentioned in the Old Testament. She was the daughter of Ramun, the king of the Ammonites. Her story is recorded in the first book of Kings, in chapters 14, verses 21 and 31. According to the biblical account, Naamah became the wife of Solomon, the legendary king of Israel, known for his wisdom and wealth. Naamah's life is shrouded in mystery, but we can extract several relevant pieces of information from the Bible and Jewish tradition to present the details of this story. As the daughter of a king, Naamah grew up in an environment of luxury and privilege. Her marriage to Solomon, one of the most powerful and influential monarchs in the history of Israel, was certainly an event of great political and diplomatic importance. However, Naamah's connection with the Ammonites had serious implications due to the historical rivalry between the Israelites and the Ammonites. According to biblical tradition, the Ammonites were often seen as enemies of the Israelites, as they were descendants of Lot, Abraham's nephew, and had a long history of conflict with the people of Israel. For this reason, Solomon's marriage to Naamah generated criticism, especially among the more conservative Israelites, who feared that this union could harm the purity of Israelite culture. Before all this, it is worth remembering that Solomon had already married the daughter of a pharaoh, a legitimate royal marriage. However, he soon allowed himself to be seduced by foreign women from different cultures, including Naamah. The big problem in this situation was Solomon's lack of control, as he accumulated an impressive number of wives and concubines. In the first book of Kings, chapter 11, verse 3, it is said that he had 700 wives of royal lineage and 300 concubines. Even with several pieces of advice from his own mother, warning him about the risks that these women of different origins could bring, Solomon did not listen and continued to get involved with women from different nations, such as the Moabite and the Titan, who followed different religions with foreign gods. However, Solomon was deeply in love with Naamah, which made this marriage even more complex and impactful in his life. His love for her transcended the cultural and political barriers of the time, leading him to make decisions that had negative consequences not only for him, but also for the kingdom of Israel. His affection for Naamah led him to allow the worship of foreign gods, following the customs of his beloved wife, which compromised the fundamental religious principles of Judaism. Solomon's story is a clear example of how a king who initially worshipped the one true God can stray over time. The Bible tells us that, although Solomon began his reign worshipping God, he eventually gave in to the influences of his foreign wives, including Naamah, and built altars to their gods. It is important to note that Solomon was not the first king to break this rule. His father, King David, also had multiple wives, which already indicated a pattern. In fact, the Bible, in Deuteronomy 17:17, explicitly warned against having multiple wives, warning of the consequences of such a practice. According to Scripture, the kings of Israel were not to have too many wives, as this could lead them to spiritual deviation. Surprisingly, Solomon, a man renowned for his wisdom, did not follow this advice and strayed from the right path, even though he gave in to temptation. It is worth noting Solomon's remarkable intelligence, which has been made famous in several stories, including one involving two women who competed for the motherhood of a baby. Solomon suggested splitting the baby in half, a proposal that caused great distress to one of the women, who immediately asked the king not to do it. It was in this way that Solomon was able to identify the baby's true mother. His wisdom also extended to many other fields, from the study of nature to the creation of proverbs and songs, which are recorded in the Old Testament, in the book of Proverbs and the Song of Solomon. However, the prophecy of Isaiah, which predicted that Solomon would lose control over 10 of the tribes of Israel, indicated that the kingdom of Israel would soon be divided. This division came to fruition when Jeroboam, a leader of the northern tribes, became a threat to Solomon's reign. Fearing the loss of his power and influence, Solomon desperately attempted to assassinate Jeroboam. This act reflected the growing tension in the kingdom of Israel. After Solomon's death and his son Rehoboam's accession to the throne, Jeroboam became a central figure in the subsequent conflicts. Isaiah's prophecy was fulfilled and began a series of events that resulted in the division of the kingdom, with Jeroboam ruling over the 10-tribe kingdom of Israel in the north and Rehoboam ruling over the southern tribe kingdom of Judah. This division led to a turbulent period in Israel's history known as the Schism, with lasting political and religious repercussions. The reign of Rehoboam, marked by disastrous administration, represents a turning point in Israel's history. His increased taxes and decision to ignore the concerns of the people quickly weakened his authority, leading to political and economic decline. Popular discontent continued, and Jeroboam became the first king of the Kingdom of Israel after the division. To prevent his people from continuing to worship in Jerusalem, Jeroboam took drastic measures. He had 2 statues of golden calves made and placed on altars in Bethel and Dan, encouraging the Israelites to worship these images instead of going to Jerusalem. This decision had serious consequences, as the golden calf became a symbol of apostasy and idolatry in the history of Israel. One day, while Jeroboam was making offerings at one of these altars, an unknown prophet appeared and predicted that a descendant of David would destroy the pagan altars and even burn human bones on them. Amazingly, this prophecy was fulfilled many years later when King Josiah of Judah carried out religious reforms and carried out the actions predicted by the unknown prophet. The story of Naaman reminds us that even the wisest and most powerful leaders can be led into sin and apostasy when they allow outside influences, such as political marriages and alliances, to corrupt their devotion to the true God. Solomon's decision to build altars to foreign gods and allow idol worship among the Israelites exemplifies the danger of these outside influences. Under Naaman's influence, Solomon built altars dedicated to the foreign gods of his wives, which ushered in a period of spiritual decline and political conflict. This period culminated in the division of the Kingdom of Israel. The story of his influence on Solomon serves as a reminder of how wisdom and faith can be tested, even in moments of greatest power and success. It prompts us to reflect on the influences that shape our lives and the importance of holding fast to our principles, even in the face of temptations and external pressures. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Have a great day.